Hey there, welcome to my channel. For today, we're going to be doing a celebrity-inspired makeup look. So there was a movie called as Irumugan which was released, and that is supposed to be a movie acted by Nayantara. And for those of you who don't know who she is, I'm just going to insert like a picture over here. She's quite famous over here in India and especially in South. So she's just like this person who I've just been like wondering about her entire makeup. And then slowly it just started going into something so sophisticated looking, and it's just like the most beautiful, gracious, and it just looks so stunning most of the times on her. And for today, we're going to pick up a look from a movie called as Irumugan. I saw this movie like probably when I was in like college, and ever since that, I've just been obsessed with that look. And fast forward to so many years later, I still do absolutely love the look, and which is why I really wanted to try recreating it today. So throughout the entire movie, she kind of has a lot of neutral looks and just like kind of variations of different types of neutral looks. So we're going to pick one from this song, which I absolutely love. And this is basically what she looks like in the song. I'm going to insert a picture for you. So if you look at the look, it's very outgoing and easy, neutral, very wearable, even like for a day look. And it's just like, it's glam, but the right amount of glam without it looking over the top. Plus, it's something which I feel would work across all skin tones and for anyone, even if they're a beginner. So I just want to make sure that the tutorial is easy for you to follow up with. And I'm going to keep most of the products drugstore. That way it's easy for you to get it in case if you're looking for the same kind of finish. So with no further ado, let's get started. So we're going to start with the skin right now. I want to go with something like almost like skin light. So I'm going to be using a skin tint today. This is from the brand called Thao Beauty. I am in the shade 240W. It's like a very liquidy formula. That's why I'm like starting to, start shaking it now itself. I have a bit of the skin tint on the back of my hand. I am just going to go like in different places, to be honest, because I'm going to keep like my face dewy in certain area. So if you see this look, she has this really nice, like very wet looking skin, and I really appreciate how makeup artists like over the years, I don't know that she changed her, and it's just like it's so different. Like when I would see her in all of her older movies, she would not have that kind of like a base, and then like all of a sudden with this movie, I just feel like it changed drastically, and she looks so good, and it just looks so poised, and it just looks so chic. And for any kind of outfit, I feel like it would actually work. That's exactly why I wanted to show you this look and kind of make you see how versatile it is and how much of like variety you can get with it. So we've got this really nice, very, very glossy looking skin, but we're going to need a little more coverage. So we're going to use the LA Girl Pro Conceal, and I'm in the shade, I think, Pure Beige. Yeah. So we're going to use a little bit here, a little bit here, and a little bit here. Have you guys ever tried like doing a celebrity inspired makeup look? I feel like when I was in college, I used to try that. Like I would watch something and I would go and try, and instantly I would regret it. I would like just regret the way I look. And I don't know whether it was because, my skill set was bad, or whether it's just that like things look different from how it looks on TV to how it looks on real life, or it was just absurd. That's exactly why I wanted to try it today and just see like how it goes. Moving on, I have a product which is something I've been absolutely loving, which is the Lakme Absolute Luminous Skin Tint, and I'm in the shade Warm Sand. It's like it's supposed to be used like even under your foundation if you want like for an entire face of that glowiness. It basically works somewhat like a stroke cream, but a more of a tinted stroke cream. So I would compare this to the Charlotte Tilbury's Hollywood Flawless Filter. So I'm just going to use this, and if you remember, like I didn't put anything on this areas like the foundation. So we're going to use this on those places because I'm going to be setting the rest of my base. So I want to have that like that nice wet dewy looking skin on these areas, and I don't want to put tons and tons of highlighter because that just looks like shimmery. And I want wet looking skin. Okay, so moving on to the next step, if I look at the base and the reference, she naturally has like a very, very chiseled contoured face. So we are going to be doing contouring. Plus she's pretty well bronzed. And I want to add a little bit of that into like the hairline and everything. And then we're going to just go ahead with blush and, things post that. So let's quickly move on to a little bit of contour. So I'm going under my jawline. That's kind of why you guys can't see. And I'm going to take it like here also towards the side. That way it looks more connected. So contouring looks really bad if you don't have the natural like definition. And then if you add something on top of it, there is anyways no, like there is no dip of the bone in that area. So it just ends up looking like you've actually drawn something on the face. I really don't like that look. So I'm kind of, if you see, I'm kind of going more on the jaw, and I'm going very, very, very subtle on the cheek. I know that on camera it looks like my contour is good, but in real life, when you do it, you are gonna feel like you have a line on the face. I don't think a lot of like makeup creators online are actually accepting it, but then when I would see someone face to face, it does look like you've actually drawn a line on your face. So dewy base is such a bad idea. I feel so like pichik types already. So moving on to the blush, we're going to be using the Simply Nams Velvet Cream Magic Blush in the shade Maid of Honor. It's like a nice pinky rosewood shade because on the reference, she actually has a little more of like a baby pink kind of color. But then like for my skin tone, which is more on the medium side, I feel like that shade would really look bad. So I'm going to use like a pink, but something which looks a little more like earthy kind of a pink. So it sinks well into me and yeah, it just looks nice. So if you see in the picture, Nayantara has like a much more bold amount of blush. So I've gone a little more overboard just to get that similar kind of a look. And she has a very contoured face, so I'm kind of going in the same angle to kind of create that face. I mean, let's be honest, we are the chubby, the round faced ones, and we don't really have that angle. But all we can do is to try and fake it a little bit, and this is about how it looks right now. So we're going to move on to a little bit of bronzer. This is the Gush Beauty's bronzer stack. So I'm just going to pick up this product and we're going to go slightly on the hairline. I'm not doing a very precise one, like I'm not going to go with the lines and everything like that, because I just wanted to look like, you know, I just like the messiness of how things look when you don't do it perfectly. It looks a little more realistic. Maybe like over the years, I've just been like looking for perfection. And then now at this point, I kind of just want to enjoy makeup when I'm doing it. So I'm just going for a very random, kind of all over the place kind of an application. Applying a little bit of it on the nose for that added warmth and a bit of it on the chin. Okay, so I have two options for you. One is the e.l.f. Halo Glow setting powder. I think this is a good option for the ones who have dry skin. And then I have the Mamaearth's loose powder. This is like mattifying, so it's perfect for those of you who have oily skin and if you want to kind of like tone it down. So today we're going to be using the e.l.f. one because I haven't like used it for so long, and I feel like I've forgotten how it actually works. So we're going to be doing that. I am just taking some whatever is left on the back of this cap, and I'm going to be removing any kind of creasing with my finger. So we're going to do a very like spot setting because we don't want to kill the glow. And I just went with a little bit there and continuing the same. It's not a highlighter, it's just a matte powder with a bit of reflex. Yeah, that's literally the right word. So I'm going to use this like a highlighter because I don't like highlighters. Let's be honest. Real life, I don't think highlighters really look nice. So I want to get that glowy finish, but like a real glow and like a tolerable glow for somebody who has oily skin like me. So on my jawline, I'm just using the Mamaearth's powder because I want to keep it looking kind of matte. That way it looks a little more sharper, and the blush is more of like a wet finish. So the blush actually lifts up. So it's just that I'm playing with the light and I'm just, you know, I've set my face in different ways to get that glowiness. She has like a very like lifted eyebrows and they kind of go more straight, and mine is more arched. So I'm not going to be extending any, like I'm not going to be increasing the arch over here. Rather, I'm just focusing on filling it. That way I look like I have more, like more volume and more brow hairs to kind of match up with the same reference. So I'm going to zoom you in and we're going to jump in right into doing the eyes. And if you look at the reference, it's more like a black coal rimmed eye, but then it's like very nicely faded. That way it doesn't look very OTT. So we're going to try to do the same thing, but she is wearing contacts in most of the images. So I am going to be going and putting on some contacts to kind of go with the same vibe. And there's no shimmer. I cannot see any shimmer. And the inner corner and everything is done so nicely, like it's properly like rimmed and stuff. We're going to be trying to replicate the same thing. So let's start off. I am going to pick up the Nykaa's Black Magic Kajal because I wanted something a little like slippy but also a good intensity of black. So this is like perfect for that. And I am going to keep it as thin as possible. So I don't want, like I want my lid to be seen even after the smokiness of it like is completely done. So we're going to go with a little bit of black kajal. Okay, it's fine if it's not like very clean. And I'm going to do the same on the lower lash line. Ensure that you're taking it on the side here and connecting that to the upper lash line on the inner corner too. So it's quite smoky if you see her look. It's like pretty intense and it comes a little more lower too. So before this dries, I'm going to quickly smudge it out. And here, if you see, I'm actually dragging the entire kajal a little sideways, but not like a wing, so that I can connect it up over here. That's about it. That's the entire shaping factor. If you feel like your brush is like kind of getting black kind, like you even after you smudge also, it doesn't look like the edges are lighter. Just clean your brush in the middle on a cloth or a tissue, and then you can just continue going ahead with the same step. So moving on, I'm going to use the Sugar's Blend the Rules eyeshadow palette. I just go blank sometimes. So yeah, this one is in the shade Warrior, and I'm going to pick up this brown over here. Just using a normal classic pencil brush, and we're going to pick up that brown. I'm tapping off the excess because I want to kind of build it in a way that the brown isn't dominative in the look. The black is the main part and the brown is just like a supporting thing to, help you with the blending process. I'm going with a little more brown here because I need it to blend and buff out really well. So picking up the same brown, I'm going to go with the brown a little more so that I can increase the intensity as I go along. If you see, I kind of messed up a little bit over here. Like it went a little down and a little outwards. So I'm just using a concealer brush and I'm just cleaning off the edges because I want to keep it like a little more closer towards the eye and I don't want it to come outwards. Okay, so I'm just going to go a little more intense in this inner corner because the reference, that area is a little more thicker for her. And we're going to go ahead with the eBa's Big and Bold mascara. So if you look at the reference, I'm not too sure whether it's extensions or if it's individual lashes. But then it's not like over the top. It looks more like natural. And I feel like you can add a thin, very, very, very thin pair of single strip lashes if you want more volume. But I'm just going to go in with mascara and call it a day because I have like longer lashes. So when I see the reference picture, I see that my lashes are kind of comparing up well to hers. So if you look at the reference image, she has this really nice, it's like a very, very perfect neutral brown tone with a tiny amount of like a peachy kind of color reflecting through. And it looks really natural. So I don't think they've applied it completely like a bullet, but they seem to have a good amount of lip definition. So I'm going to go in with the K Beauty's lip pencil in the shade Hype. So to achieve that no lipstick kind of a look, I'm going to be using the shade Sugar. I don't remember what range this is, but this is the packaging. And this one is the shade Gabriella. It's like a dusty mauve brown kind of a color. I am going to be picking that on my finger and I'm going to pat it in now. And what I'm going to do is to take like a single ply of a tissue and just dab on my lip. So we got most of the lipstick out with just like a light wash of it with the definition. That pretty much is the entire look. I feel like the results are pretty nice and I like the way it looks and the finish and the combo of the matte skin in the middle to the, the glossiness towards the side. it's a nice combination of the bronzer and everything. I don't know if you can see that on camera, but then in real life, the bronzer just adds such a beautiful touch. And I'm glad that we did that step today. And I think the eyes turned out really nice too. It's pretty matte and very, it's like a glam eye, but then it's also like subtle because there's no shimmer and it's very earthy looking. So I really like the combination of how it kind of paired out, and I hope you guys found this helpful. Try this out, recreate it. I'm very curious to know how you feel about it. And if you also think that the look is very close to the reference, give me a big thumbs up. Let me know your thoughts and let me know what do you think about this recreation. And if you have any other looks that you would like me to recreate, please hit me up. You can drop it in the comment section and I will try attempting the same again. So we can make a series out of this and give this a shot and let me know how it goes in the comment section below. Until next time, bye bye.